This video might save you thousands of dollars. Every single day, millions of drivers climb behind the wheel and unknowingly destroy their own cars. Not from accidents, not from bad luck, from habits. Simple, everyday things that seem completely harmless until your engine seizes, your transmission fails, or you are staring at a repair bill that costs more than your car is worth. And here is the scary part. You are probably doing at least 3 of these right now. Today we are ranking the 19 worst habits that destroy your car and engine into a tier list. D tier is bad but survivable. C tier is slow poison. B tier is where repair bills start getting serious. A tier is real engine damage territory. And S tier habits do not damage your engine. They end it. No warning, no second chance. Engine is done. Some of you watching right now have an S-tier habit that is a ticking time bomb under your hood, and you do not even know it yet. This one depends on where you live, but treating your car like a dumpster has real consequences. Winter salt is one of the most destructive substances your car encounters. Drive on salted roads and never wash the undercarriage. That salt traps moisture and eats your subframes, suspension mounts, and brake lines. I have seen 10-year-old cars from Rust Belt states that look like they spent a decade at the bottom of the ocean. Products like fluid film, Crown, and NH oil are proven underbody protectors. If you live anywhere that salts roads, these are not optional. Parking on wet grass invites moisture and hidden rust. Using household cleaners like dish soap degrades trim and paint because those products strip protective wax and coatings. Scrubbing with rough materials leaves scratches that become rust starting points. Inside the car, eating and spilling gets moisture into electronic modules hidden under panels, causing expensive electrical faults. Chemical products like certain air fresheners and hand sanitizers have solvents that crack plastics and fade leather over time. A heavy keychain creates friction on the ignition barrel over thousands of insertions, and clogged sunroof drains let water build up and seep into the interior, leading to corrosion and mold. Stuff like this goes in D tier. It costs you money on rust repair, but your engine does not care if your seats are stained. But do not get comfortable. C tier is where habits become slow poison. Habit number 18, reckless and aggressive driving. Everyone knows this is bad. What most people do not realize is how many systems it kills simultaneously. Slamming the brakes at every stop wears through pads and rotors fast. That pulsation in the pedal, warped rotors from heat. Use engine braking instead. Manual drivers, downshift smoothly, automatic with paddle shifters. Use them. On the flip side, lugging the engine is just as destructive. When you try to accelerate in 5th gear at 30 miles per hour, that grumbling judder is your drivetrain begging you to stop. Low RPM plus high load thins your oil film and puts bearings at risk. For turbocharged engines like your Volkswagen GTI or Subaru WRX, you are cooking turbo bearings at the same time. Constantly redlining puts maximum stress on pistons, bearings, and valve train. Coasting in neutral defeats your car's deceleration fuel shutoff and actually uses more fuel. Overloading your car strains everything. This is exactly why it is in C tier. Cumulative damage over years. It is not going to blow your engine tomorrow, but every aggressive drive takes days off its life. Speaking of slow damage, this next habit is sneaky. Your car gets worse so gradually that you blame it on age, when really, it is something you could have fixed for less than 20 bucks. Habit number 17, clogged filters and worn plugs. A clogged air filter chokes your engine and lets dirt reach your mass airflow sensor. A dirty sensor tells your car the wrong amount of air is coming in. Rough idle, bad fuel economy, power loss, all from a $15 filter you can change in 2 minutes. Here is where it gets expensive. Neglected spark plugs cause misfires. Misfires send unburned fuel into the catalytic converter. That overheats the converter and kills it. A set of spark plugs costs $20 to $40. A catalytic converter? $800 to $2,000. The PCV valve controls crankcase pressure. When it sticks, pressure forces oil past seals into the intake. For direct injection engines like the Ford EcoBoost, BMW N54 and N55, or Hyundai and Kia Theta engines, carbon builds up on intake valves because fuel no longer washes over them. The only fix is walnut blasting every 30,000 miles. That is C tier for you. Cheap parts creating expensive problems. Now here is the opposite problem. What happens when you do not drive enough? Habit number 16, letting your car sit unused. A lot of people think not driving protects from wear, not even close. When a car sits, fuel degrades and varnishes, clogging pumps and lines. This is especially bad with modern ethanol-blended fuels. Batteries drain completely and get permanently damaged. Tires develop flat spots, seals dry out, rodents chew through wiring harnesses. I have seen squirrels cause $3,000 of damage to a Toyota Camry that sat for 4 months. Run your car at least monthly for a good half hour at operating temperature. Not just idle it, drive it. For longer storage, use fuel stabilizer, fill the tank completely, and put a trickle charger on the battery. One nobody thinks about, never running the AC. Your compressor needs oil that only flows when the AC runs. Skip it for months and the seals dry out. Run it for 5 minutes at least once a month, even in winter. This clearly belongs in C tier. A few months of neglect creates problems in every system. How many of you have actually checked your tire pressure this month? Be honest. Habit number 15, destroying your tires and suspension. One of the biggest myths out there. The max PSI on your tire sidewall is wrong for your car. That is the tire's maximum safe pressure, not your vehicle's correct pressure. Check the sticker inside your driver's side door jamb. Overinflation wears the center. Underinflation generates heat and wears the edges. Alignment checks are essential after hitting any serious pothole or curb. Running over a pothole at highway speed can bend rims, knock alignment off, and damage shocks. Worn shocks and struts mess with your braking, handling, and tire wear. Holding the steering at full lock strains your power steering pump and rack. Turning from a complete standstill wears tires faster than turning while moving slowly. So it goes in C tier. Will not kill your engine, but it hurts your wallet, your fuel economy, and your safety. D tier and C tier are done. Slow burn habits. Bad practice that adds up over time. But what we are about to get into is completely different. We are entering B tier. The wallet destroyers. $1,000 fixes. Habit number 14, destroying your manual clutch. Manual drivers, this one is for you. And honestly, some of you need to hear this. Riding the clutch keeps it slipping and generating heat. That burning smell at traffic lights? Friction material overheating. Do it enough and you glaze the flywheel surface. Now you need a full clutch kit and flywheel resurface. Resting your foot on the clutch pedal creates constant pressure on the release bearing. Thousands of miles of that and the bearing fails. Your left foot belongs on the dead pedal, nowhere else. Holding hills with the clutch instead of the handbrake forces, continuous slipping against the full weight of the car. I have seen this destroy a clutch in under 10,000 miles on a Honda Civic. Now the scary one, money shifting. A forceful downshift at high speed without matching your engine speed first. Engine speed spikes violently. The clash ruins your clutch, warps the flywheel, and messes up your gearbox internals. I have seen gearboxes killed by a single money shift. Rev matching protects everything. Blip the gas while the clutch is in. Sync up your engine speed with your wheels before you let the clutch out. B tier territory. Clutch replacements cost $1,000 or more, and as we saw, a single money shift can destroy a gearbox in seconds. Diesel owners, listen up. This next one is specifically for you. Habit number 13, short tripping your diesel. Your diesel particulate filter captures soot and needs high exhaust heat to burn it off. That only happens during extended highway driving. Short trips mean the DPF clogs. Your car goes into limp mode. A DPF replacement on something like a BMW X5 diesel or a Ford F250 Power Stroke can cost $2,000 to $4,000. If you own a diesel, you need at least 30 minutes on the highway to let it clean itself out. If your car shows a DPF warning, do not ignore it. Get on the highway. Short trips also create a messy sludge in your engine because diesel fuel does not burn off from your oil as easily. That milky residue under your oil cap is moisture contamination from never reaching operating temperature. If you bought a diesel for grocery runs and school pickups, you have the wrong vehicle for your use case. B tier is where it gets real. DPF replacements can cost more than some older vehicles are worth. Still talking about fuel, but this one applies to everyone. Habit number 12, wrong fuel and empty tank. That octane rating on your fuel cap is not a suggestion. Your engine is tuned for specific octane. Going below causes engine knock. Modern engines have knock sensors that retard timing, but the protection is reactive, not preventive. some damaging knock happens before the ECU corrects it. If your BMW, Audi, Mercedes, or any turbocharged car requires premium, use premium. Use top-tier gasoline brands for their better detergent packages that keep injectors and combustion chambers clean. E85 in a non-flex fuel vehicle eats through rubber seals and fuel lines. If you accidentally fill with it, dilute with regular gas immediately and do not put it under heavy load until the mixture normalizes. Running near empty exposes your fuel pump to air. The surrounding fuel is supposed to cool that pump. Without it, the pump overheats and wears out. Never go below a quarter tank. That puts it in B tier. And the worst part is that it is all completely avoidable with just a little bit of awareness. This next one is related, and it is one of the most common habits on this entire list. Habit number 11, only taking short trips. A lot of drivers think gentle city driving is easy on a car compared to highway miles. Think again. Short trips prevent oil from reaching operating temperature. Cold oil cannot protect bearings the way it is designed to. Cold starts require fuel enrichment. Repeated enrichments dilute your oil with raw fuel. Fuel in your oil speeds up sludge buildup. Condensation forms in the crankcase and never gets burned off. That creamy residue under your oil cap, moisture contamination. Stop-and-go driving puts more stress on your engine than steady highway cruising. For hybrid owners driving a Toyota RAV4 Prime or similar, start-stop systems keep the engine cold for extended periods. You need to schedule periodic extended drives so the engine actually reaches full operating temperature. The fix: one weekly drive of at least 20 minutes at operating temperature, not idling in the driveway, actually driving. That puts it in B tier, cumulative damage, but recoverable if you change your habits. Now this one drives me crazy because the damage is completely self-inflicted. Habit number 10, trusting myths over maintenance. The automotive aftermarket is full of miracle products that promise to restore lost power. Most are garbage, none substitute for actual maintenance. Ignoring manufacturer service schedules is one of the most common ways people neglect their cars. Those lifetime fluid claims? Lifetime means until the warranty expires. I have seen transmissions destroyed because owners trusted lifetime fluid claims and went 100,000 miles without changes. Skipping post-service checks can be immediately catastrophic. Driving without the oil filler cap after maintenance sprays oil across your engine bay creates fire risk. After any service, verify. Are all caps on? Are fluid levels correct? Is anything leaking? Another one for B tier. Trusting miracle cures over actual maintenance is an expensive mistake. Alright, stop for a second. Everything up to this point costs money and shortens your car's life. But what we are about to get into is a completely different level. Now we are in A tier. This is where we see serious, expensive, and sometimes irreversible damage. And after A tier comes S tier, habits that destroy engines. Catastrophically. Pay close attention from here. Habit number 9, abusing your automatic transmission. Modern automatic transmissions are engineering marvels. They are also surprisingly easy to destroy. Shifting between forward and reverse while still moving puts huge stress on your transmission internals. Always come to a complete stop before switching. Selecting park while moving is even worse. The parking pawl is a small hardened component only meant to lock in when you are stopped. Higher speed engagement can shear the pawl clean off. I have seen this happen on vehicles with 30,000 miles. One absent-minded shift into park at 5 miles per hour. $3,000 transmission rebuild. On inclines, apply the parking brake first, while holding the foot brake, then shift to park. The brake holds the weight, not the fragile pal. That is A tier for you. Transmission rebuilds run between $3,000 and $8,000. A lot of people get this next one wrong, even car enthusiasts. Habit number 8. Abusing your cold engine. Please let your car warm up, but also stop warming it up wrong. After shutdown, oil drains back to the sump. On the next start, the oil pump pressurizes galleries almost immediately, but it takes a moment for oil to reach every bearing. Cold oil is thick. Metal parts are still cold and tight. This is why most engine wear happens during cold operation. Revving a cold engine is terrible. Flooring it is worse. Maximum power demand when lubrication is impaired equals maximum stress at the worst possible moment. But extended idle warm-ups are also wrong. Low idle means less oil flow, bad combustion, and more carbon buildup. Extended idling with AC running keeps the engine in a cold, loaded state without cooling airflow. The correct approach: 30 seconds after starting for oil pressure to stabilize, then drive gently with light throttle and moderate RPMs. That makes it A tier. Most engine wear happens when the engine is cold. Turbo owners, this next one is directly for you. Habit number 7, killing your turbocharger. A turbo spins at tens of thousands of RPM and generates massive heat. The only thing protecting those bearings is continuous clean oil. Shut off immediately after spirited driving, and the oil sits in those superheated bearing passages and cooks. Varnish and carbon deposits build up. Let the car idle 30 seconds to a couple minutes after hard driving before shutting off. Boosting on cold oil stresses the turbo when oil is still thick. Wait until operating temperature before demanding boost. This is especially critical on cars like the EcoBoost F-150, Volkswagen G-Ti, BMW 335i, and any Subaru with the FA20 turbo. Quality synthetics like Pennzoil Platinum, Rotella T6 for diesels, or Amsoil Signature Series in whatever weight your car calls for make a real difference. Aftermarket burble and pop tunes dump unburned fuel into the exhaust, accelerating stress on your turbo and catalytic converters. When installing a new turbo, always pre-fill oil channels before initial startup. Definitely A tier. Turbo replacements run $2,000 to $5,000 if you get it wrong. Everyone talks about engine oil, but your car has 5 or 6 other fluids that also need attention. Habit number 6, ignoring all other fluids. Everyone changes engine oil. Far fewer realize every other fluid in the car also degrades and needs attention. Transmission fluid breaks down from heat and friction. Darkened or burnt-smelling fluid means it is breaking down. A simple drain and refill at 40 to 60,000 miles is way cheaper than a transmission rebuild at 100,000. Avoid aggressive high-pressure flushes on high-mileage transmissions. They can dislodge deposits and cause more harm. CVTs, like those in many Nissan, Subaru, and Honda models, need special fluid, not regular transmission fluid. CVT fluid is its own thing. Service every 30,000 miles under normal conditions. Brake fluid absorbs moisture and needs replacement every 2 to 3 years. Under hard braking, wet fluid can boil and your brakes fade. You lose braking when you need it most. Coolant changes every 2 to 4 years. Keep rust protection working. Neglected coolant lets scale build up inside passages. This is how head gasket failures start. Another A-tier habit. A transmission replacement costs thousands, but brake failure can cost you your life. Now let us talk about the fluid everyone knows about and the ways people still mess it up. Habit number 5, messing up your engine oil. Engine oil is the lifeblood of your engine. When you mess this up, you are messing up every protection your engine has. Driving on low oil is one of the most dangerous things you can do. Upper galleries, cylinder walls, and bearings stop getting enough oil. You do not get a warning light until oil pressure is already too low. If that light comes on, pull over immediately. Do not drive to the shop. Pull over. Small leaks are easy to dismiss, but they are early warnings. Overfilling is also dangerous. Excess oil contacts the crankshaft and gets whipped into foam that cannot maintain a protective film. Using wrong oil grade hurts protection. Follow manufacturer-specified viscosities exactly. If you want real data on what is happening inside your engine, labs like Blackstone analyze oil samples for about $25 to $30. They check for metal shavings, fuel in your oil, and worn-out additives. No question. This is a solid A-tier habit. Driving on low oil can seize an entire engine in minutes. This next habit is the reason every other A-tier habit becomes catastrophic. Habit number 4, ignoring every warning sign. This is the habit that turns every other habit on this list from expensive into catastrophic. Your car tells you when something is wrong. When you ignore it, you choose to let a fixable problem destroy your entire car. A steady check engine light means something is outside expected range. Get it scanned. A flashing check engine light means active damage is happening right now. Usually severe misfires destroying your catalytic converter. If your light is always on for some minor issue you never fixed, it becomes useless. Classic boy who cried wolf. When something serious happens, you have no way of knowing. Oil pressure warning is the most critical alert your car can give. Lubrication is insufficient. You have minutes before bearing failure. Overheating can warp cylinder heads in a single event. Strange sounds, especially low-frequency knocking under load, point to bearing distress. I have heard that sound exactly once in person, and the engine was dead 3 minutes later. Ignoring warnings does not create damage by itself, but it turns every small problem into a dead engine. We have gone through D tier, C tier, B tier, and A tier, but the final 3 habits are on a completely different level. We are in S tier. This is the absolute worst. These do not gradually wear your engine. These destroy it. Catastrophically, irreversibly. This is where engines die. Habit number 3, skipping oil and filter changes. This habit kills more engines than timing belt failure. Timing belts are a known scheduled service. Most aware owners get them done. But oil changes are so routine that people convince themselves they are optional. They stretch intervals to 20,000 miles. I have seen engines with 25,000 miles on the oil, comes out like tar, pickup screen completely clogged with sludge, bearings already damaged, rod knock. At that point, the death sentence has already been issued. Engine oil lubricates moving parts, transfers heat, catches contaminants for the filter, runs your variable valve timing, and protects against corrosion. All of this wears out over time. When those additives run out, bearings wear, cam lobes wear, piston skirts and rings wear, and sludge blocks oil passages. Use quality synthetics. Pennzoil Platinum, Mobil 1, Castrol Edge, Rotella T6 for diesels. Always replace the oil filter with every oil change. Oil changes cost $50. Engine replacements cost $5,000 to $10,000. That is the S tier for you, the ultimate engine killer. If you get this wrong, nothing else matters. But at least with oil, you have time to fix your mistake. This next one gives you no time at all. Habit number 2, driving through deep water. This is the habit that can destroy your engine in a single moment of bad judgment. Water does not compress. When water enters through the air intake and reaches the combustion chamber, the piston has nowhere to go. The force bends connecting rods, breaks pistons, cracks blocks. This happens in a fraction of a second. I have seen engines come in after crossing what the driver thought was a shallow puddle. Inspection revealed broken pistons and crankshaft damage. The engine was scrap metal. Avoid flooded routes whenever possible. If you must go through standing water, drive slowly to avoid creating a bow wave. If there is any indication water got into your engine, do not restart. Have it towed. That is S tier. No repair for hydrolock. No second chance. And now we are at number 1. The single habit that ends more engines than any other. Habit number 1, skipping timing belt service. The timing belt keeps your crankshaft and camshaft spinning in sync. In an interference engine, and most modern engines are interference designs, the valves and pistons occupy the same physical space at different times. The timing belt is the only thing preventing them from colliding. When it fails, pistons slam into open valves, valves bend, pistons crack or shatter. The engine goes from running perfectly to completely destroyed in a fraction of a second. There is no warning, no noise, no vibration. It simply snaps and the engine dies. Timing belts are scheduled between 60 to 100,000 miles depending on manufacturer. Honda and Toyota typically recommend around 100,000. Many European cars as early as 60,000. When replacing the belt, always replace the water pump, tensioners, and idler pulleys at the same time. Timing belt service costs $500 to $1,000. A timing belt failure typically requires complete engine replacement, $3,000 to $8,000. If you do not know when your timing belt was last replaced, find out immediately. That is S tier, the highest S tier. It is the number 1 engine killer. So there it is, 19 habits ranked from D tier to S tier. D tier is bad but survivable. C tier is slow poison that adds up. B tier is for the wallet destroyers. A tier means serious engine damage. And S tier, that is engine death. If you take one thing from this video, remember this: routine maintenance is not optional. The $50 you spend on an oil change today saves you $5,000 in engine replacement tomorrow. But here's the problem. Most drivers are changing their oil. They're spending that $50 and they're still destroying their engines. Why? Because they're making critical mistakes during the oil change itself. Mistakes that completely wipe out the protection they think they're getting. Your car gives you warnings. Your car tells you what it needs. The only question is whether you listen. If this video helped you, smash that like button. Subscribe if you have not already. Drop a comment telling me which tier your worst habit falls into. And if you want to make sure your oil changes are actually protecting your engine instead of quietly killing it, you need to watch These Oil Change Mistakes Are Failing Your Engine next. Because doing it wrong is almost as bad as not doing it at all.